Hey guys, welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is Holly Murphy, the legend behind one of the UAE's most inspiring sports movements. She is the founder of Heroes of Hope, a premium sports academy that empowers people of determination through fitness, community, and of course, confidence building. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show, I should say.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Thanks for coming back.
So what is Heroes of Hope to people who don't know?
Okay, so Heroes of Hope essentially is a sports academy that specialises in sports fitness and health for people of determination. So people of determination, generally we work with children who may have a cognitive disability or children perhaps who've got physical or both. So we do what we can to accommodate and to facilitate children and adults who would like to access sports. So yeah, that's really what we do. And then a kind of added layer to that now is we specialise in events as well. So over the years, we've kind of learned that a lot of our athletes, they love to compete, they love competitions, the same way that anyone who's in sports like to do that is what you work towards. So now we work really hard at kind of putting events together, where they actually have something to train towards, and they're competing against each other, which is quite nice as well, so they're at their own level. Nice. And it's a great way for them to see how well they're doing, but equally just for them to push themselves and become an even better athlete.
Amazing. Can you give us a bit of an idea of the journey? So we had you on the show a couple of years ago. Tell us about when you started this, how you started it. We'll go right back.
Moment of madness. Yeah, I know. God, think it was 5 years ago. It feels like yesterday, to be honest. And I remember all those years ago as well, like you guys gave us a platform to speak kind of about that work back then, and we're always very grateful to that and allowed us to kind of propel ourselves and to move forward. So we're always very grateful to Lovin Dubai for giving us that opportunity. Anyway, yeah, so the journey has been like ongoing, and we're very proud of that. So we kind of started around the time of COVID, thereabouts. As we all know, things kind of were a bit rocky and a bit shaky. So we set up the organisation again with this kind of purpose and vision in mind, that we wanted to give access to as many people of determination as possible to sports. But now we just started to grow, so we kind of started off with roughly around 100 athletes. We're now nearly at 300. We've got about 800 like in terms of families, siblings and so on. So the organisation has grown significantly. We have over 23 sports. I think we're on actually 24. So we've got about 24 sports in total that we offer to people of determination. So we have sports every single day of the week and weekends. And then we have competitions as well. So it's just ongoing, always something happening, always very, very busy. In fact, it's grown such a significant level. We've got now waiting lists as well. So it has proven that like this is welcomed by the community, families and the athletes. They want this and they want this type of training. So it's great to be in a position to offer it to them. So yeah, it's been amazing, really.
So what inspired you to open this academy?
So my background was in sports. I was a PE teacher by trade, and I just felt like there wasn't enough being put into place for children who wanted to play sports but couldn't because of certain, like, I suppose, challenges. So I just wanted to change the tone to that, and to adapt the practices and to give them, I suppose, a level that they can compete at and a level where they can train and become the very best that they can become. So we've managed to do that, and you know, we're very grateful as well. We've got a whole organisation completely not-for-profit, so everybody who's involved in this are volunteering their time, their services. So all the coaches, the background staff, everyone who's helping are just donating it just from goodwill. Like, so the whole organisation is built from a very, I suppose, purposeful place. It's coming from people's hearts. There's no other incentive behind it other than that we just simply want to support the community and give them a really positive and good quality in life.
Shout out to everyone who works behind the scenes at Heroes of Hope, truly. You said there's a moment of madness that inspired you to start it. And now you've got 24 sports. I don't think I can even name 24 sports. but how, like...
Let's test you.
How does it work? So, like, you had an idea, but how did you make it happen?
Do you know what? I say a lot of resiliency being kind of the key one there. I just didn't want to give up on this kind of. I knew full well what the athletes were capable of, and I was kind of on this mission and goal that I wanted to share that with the world. So I was I'm very grateful as well to the families. They've stood by me as well, 100%. They believed in the vision as well. So without them, Heroes of Hope just wouldn't exist. Like, they've trusted in what I wanted to achieve for their children, and without them, you know, we wouldn't be here today. So I feel like it's a collaboration kind of effort between obviously my vision, families and the volunteers and coaches. So with everybody involved, we just simply wouldn't be existing. So look, a big reason why I did this was I believe in the community. I wholeheartedly believe in the children and the athletes and what they can do. And it is kind of obsessed me a little bit. Like, I just woke up every single day thinking, what more can we do? And there's always more, there's always more that we can keep pushing towards. And I think, we are relentless in that, and we're still not even halfway. There's so much more that we want to achieve. Despite having done so much, we're still not even halfway there. So we just got to keep going, keep pushing forward, because there's so much more that can be achieved.
So what would you say is the biggest challenge building this academy?
God, we're still looking for a venue. That's a big thing that we do actually need and want is,
Right.
Look, the academy has grown so big, and as we all know, Dubai is becoming very vast, and I'm driving around quite a bit, and as are the families, trying to get to different venues and locations, because how we operate is we link in with like community sports programs. So for example, if you want to play basketball, we work a basketball hub. They donate the venue time for us, which is wonderful, and then we coach the basketball session specifically for people with additional needs. So that works really nicely, and we feel part of their academy. And we've done that across all of our sports. We've linked in with all the different academies, and we're very grateful to them. And the venue donations which they've given to us to allow us to practice and to play sports at quite a professional level. However, in saying that, we are desperately trying to get some sort of venue to kind of bring the community together a little bit more, so we're not all so spread out and driving here, there and everywhere. So that's definitely one of our aspirations that we're trying to achieve at the moment, and hopefully one day we'll get there.
What kind of sports are you giving people access to at the moment?
We do it, well, as we know, we all have our own individual interests, and that's something that we try to cater for our community. So, for example, we've got some athletes who love individual sports, so they might practice athletics. We've got a family running club, we've got functional fitness, we've got CrossFit, powerlifting. So anyone who likes to work for themselves, which I'm kind of more like that athlete, I do things by myself, we have that available to them. And then obviously we've got athletes who really love game sports, so working as a team. So we have like basketball, football, rugby. Like, there's a lot of games activities there. So they're learning how to work together. They're building that socialization with each other as well, which is wonderful. So they're building a friendship essentially. And we love seeing that. Like, they are best friends, and that's wonderful for them to do that. And also we've actually added, over the last 2 years, we started to do international trips. So rather than just trying to focusing on sports, we're trying to build, I suppose, an independent layer to what we're doing. So giving athletes independence by actually taking them abroad and away from their families, and to teach them how to travel by themselves, to live by themselves for a couple of days, do like different adventures and take them like into the great outdoors, and they have to challenge themselves on a completely different level. And then we bring them home again, safe and sound. But yeah, so we're always testing the barriers and testing, what we can do with them. But like that, we're trying to offer as many opportunities as possible through what we do. We also introduce a little bit of vocational volunteer work. So what we do with some of the older heroes is we actually get them to work at some of the events that we participate in. So you may or may not have seen some of them at the Burj to Burj. They were there giving out the water. We even had a group of Bollywood dancers that were there to cheer on all the athletes as they were running. Cool. So like I said, anything that we can, or any way that we can be involved in the sports industry or the community here in Dubai, we do try and insert the heroes there.
Interesting on that. I know Dubai is evolving day to day and year on year in terms of inclusion.
Yes.
Is there anything similar to what you're doing? So obviously school facilities in general are amazing in Dubai, and I just wonder, is there anything like what you're doing otherwise available for people with determination? Or do you need to be a lot bigger to give everyone this access?
For me personally, yes, I'd love for us to get a lot bigger. I think because we have had so much experience now in this, we've learned so much through the families, like what the needs are of the athletes and what they need next level. Because obviously they're getting older now. I started with a lot of these kids when they were like 10 years, and now they're 20. So there's like, we've kind of grown with them. So we're at a point now, we know exactly what they need and we want to achieve that for them. So yes, obviously, to be able to do more, we definitely need to be bigger. We need to scale up a little bit. And we have the aspiration to do that. But yes, there is now a lot more inclusive practice happening, and that's really welcomed. I think it's wonderful. I think it's very obvious that a lot more people are being diagnosed with neurodiversity, which is wonderful. Like, we'll celebrate that. And I think as a result of that, like, schools and other academies now are starting to understand that they also have to adapt, and they have to have practices in place that's going to support this diversity. And I think that's wonderful. And I think we're going to see what I believe is a new era of athletes. And I can relate as a female athlete. For such a long time as a female, no one really recognised female athletes. They just didn't think we were ever as good as men. And I think it's kind of similar a little bit with people who might have neurodiversity. It's like they can still do it. We just need to adapt, and they can achieve anything. So I truly believe in about 10 years' time, we're going to be sitting here with a lot more athletes who are achieving probably more than you and me can ever do. So it's a matter of time, really. But I do see that now starting to slip into the culture here in the UAE, and it's great to see it.
So how do you choose or train the coaches to work with people of determination?
A lot of them, some of them are actually specialised coaches. So they're specialised, say, specifically in that sport. And then we give them the add-on kind of, I would say, workshop to kind of work specifically with some of the athletes that we have. So we give them kind of that like extra layer if they need it. But we are very trusting in our coaches. Like we trust them. They are professionals in what they do. We also have a lot of volunteers that come in to assist the specialist coach. So they'd come in and maybe have to help a child on one-on-one level to help them actually follow the training program in that session. So again, we give them workshops and we teach them on how to manage the athletes and the best way to support them as best we can. And it's been great. We've also welcomed some of the families in to help with the volunteers. So some of our parents have actually sat with our volunteers to teach them kind of the do's and don'ts of working with people of determination. So like I said, the whole operation of this is very community based, and we lean into each other's strengths in order for this to happen. So it's been great, and we've been very blessed as we've gone on this journey together.
Speaking of families coming in to join you, if there are some kids out there who'd like to join, the families would like to get involved, but maybe the kids themselves are nervous, would you have any piece of advice for them to kind of come and join?
It's like with anything, I think any of us, when we have to join a sports program, we are a bit nervous and a bit like, oh my God, like what are we going to do here? I think we always get that jitters. I think that's completely normal on any level. For us, look, we'll do whatever we can to accommodate. Like we obviously know like some of the children do have challenges, but we also been doing this for a very, very long time. Even though we've been 5 years full-time operations, we have been doing this for now nearly 12. So, as a whole. So we welcome everybody as best as we can, like not to worry, give it a go. But I also say you've got to trust the process. So for some of our athletes who've been with us now consistently for nearly an 8-year stretch, give or take, they are as good as they are now because of being consistent. So I do say if you're going to join, try and be as consistent, as patient as possible. Some of the athletes can learn within 3 to 4 weeks. You got some athletes who might start learning for 2 to 3 years. Every case is different. So you just have to be very patient with the process. But it's not just about sport and competition. And a lot of the families will say that to you, like it's been a saving grace in terms of, say, children having a friendship group or having people who care for them or people where they feel they can be naturally their own true selves. So it's not always about the sport. There's sometimes those added layers just behind it all. Sports are a magnet, but there's also these other things that you get from just joining and being part of it.
On that, could you describe maybe the positive impact that you've seen? Do you have any particular memories that stand out?
Of course, there's been so many. Like, I think, do you know what? I actually had this conversation myself the other day. Like, I just think like every single milestone, you always get this kind of, it's almost like this rubbling effect. Like you just start to melt a little bit because you're just like, can't believe they've gone this far. Like this next weekend, we're hosting the Games of Hope. And it's our 3rd series of the Games of Hope. And we're going to have, even just day one, the sign-up only went out last week. Day one, we already have over 100 athletes of determination getting ready to compete.
So good.
Yeah, it is amazing. Like,
so
it is actually a
good.
2-day event. So day one, we're focusing on, like I said to you, the functional fitness element. So athletes who'd like to compete more like an individual, wonderful, come on in. And then day 2, which I'm really excited about because I'm a rugby player myself, we're introducing rugby and basketball on day 2. So again, athletes who just want to play, be with friends, more like a social vibe, we have that day 2 available to them.
Yeah.
But I think for me that is a big milestone because for such a long time we always thought about having events for people of determination. And we've done some little ones side by side with like neurotypical events. So it's been nice. We've always had our own little section at that event. However, people don't come to see it because they're too occupied by going to see the professional athletes. And I get that. So we're always kind of like in the background of those events. And that's nice. And it's great that our community gets to have that. But the Games of Hope is actually a standalone event just for people of determination. And I'm not trying to be excluding anyone, but I would like to see people of determination just competing and having their own space to really show the world what they can do.
Amazing.
And again, it's a completely not-for-profit event. People of determination go for free, and the whole event, again, is being operated by volunteers. So again, we're very grateful for volunteers, and if any volunteers want to get involved, we'd love to have you because we need as much help as possible. But yeah, it's a big event coming up.
So if a volunteer wants, so if a volunteer wants to sign up, how can they do so?
Literally pop on the Instagram. It's here's a hope _. So here's _of_hope _Lovin_. Yeah, if you pop on that, the link's actually in the bio just to volunteer, which would be really, really helpful. And like I said, like we're kind of getting close to day one closing the sign up. But like we said, we'll try and sneak a few more in if we have to. And then day 2, rugby and basketball, because it's such a team event, we obviously can take in a lot more because there's more teams that we can bring in. But like that for me is a bit of a wobbly moment because you're just like, it's a quite an emotional feeling to know there's that many now athletes who want to compete. Because I started this with 12 athletes, 12 people just dancing in a sports hall to where they are now, like, you know, and they're all excited, they're all training really hard. So yeah, it's a bit of a feeling that you can't really describe, and it's amazing to see how much it has shifted and changed.
Exactly. The progress is incredible because if you'd asked me to describe Heroes of Hope, I would have thought it was thoroughly sports-based. But you've mentioned travel, you know, you've mentioned dance, you mentioned like inclusion in society, you mentioned little parts of working in it. It seems like the sky's the limit in terms of what you can do, which is really exciting.
Absolutely. Like, and like I said before, like we, like as an organisation, as volunteers, and I say I will speak on behalf of the volunteers, like we feel very privileged and honoured to work alongside the families and for them to trust us in working with their children and trying to give them these opportunities. Like I do test the families. I'm like, we are going to take them climbing mountains. And they're like, sorry, what? I'll be like, we'll be back in 5 hours. Give me your child. We're off over these mountains. Like they are very trusting in what we do. Like, you know, we've taken them off to South Africa. We've done Sri Lanka.
Wow.
We've done some really amazing things. Like, so, you know, this is, for some of the family, like that's a hard thing to do, is to let go and, you know, to allow their vulnerable child into your hands. But like, we've been very blessed to be in that position, and we built such a positive relationship with the athletes. And like I said to you before, no one's getting anything from this. And it is coming from a genuine place of love, and people just want to be with them. Like, especially our volunteers, they want to be with the heroes. Like, they want to do what they can to support them and to give them the very best opportunity and I suppose, the best quality in life as well. So that's what we're always aspiring to and working towards.
You actually have a supportive parents on live. My son is with Heroes of Hope, and we love the session. Yeah, and you have also one of the students, I think my coach, love you so much. With the people on live today.
Yeah, so we do have we have a junior coaches program as well. So we actually take in like students, say, who are at high school level, if they're looking for work experience or volunteer experiences. We get a lot of junior coaches that come through as well, which I think is a really powerful thing to have, because obviously my generation, I'd say we're around the same generation, we were never really exposed to people of determination at school. Like, we just weren't around it. It was a very different generation. But now I think by having these younger generation coming in and getting that experience and building a relationship with a person of determination, it's not such a scary thing or a taboo. And I think the next generation, all those barriers and stigma is going to melt away. And they're going to embrace everyone for exactly who they are. And that's a really positive thing, I think, through the junior coaches program.
So would you say you've noticed a change of how people see sports for people of determination since you started?
100%, absolutely. Like I said, I think give this another decade, I think there's going to be a new era of athlete coming through. I think athletes of determination are going to do so much more than anyone can, like in terms of sports or anything related to that type of stuff. I think they're very resilient. And it's only a matter of time before there's going to be a complete and utter shift in this, and we'll be sitting here probably with an athlete of determination and what they've achieved. So, yeah, I think there's so much that can be done. But like I said, I think the next generation coming through, they're going to be the pioneers in that, and I think they're going to be very encouraging of that as well. They're not going to limit them. I think they're going to inspire them to do even more and to push them to the next level. So, like I said before, the junior coaches program is such a positive impact as well. Like, I've had some of my junior coaches from like 10 years ago, when I used to be their school teacher, come back, having been at university, just to come in Here's a Hope to volunteer for a week or two, and then they go away again. Like, so when that happens, you know, we've made a good impact, right? That's another wobbly moment. When I see them as like young adults, I'm like, oh, what are you guys doing here? Yeah, like, it's amazing to see that, and that just warms your whole heart. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe they're still coming back like all these years later. And we've had that a lot over the last couple of years. my first lot of junior coaches who began with me, like I said, almost 10 years ago, they've all gone to university, and now they contact me. They're like, I've got a dissertation, can I interview you? Or, you know, I'm writing an article in the UK, can I interview you for this article? I'm like, absolutely. I'm so proud of you. Wow. Yeah, so, you know, like these are all these little moments and little layers you don't see in Heroes of Hope. Like, I know obviously we always focus on the sport, but like I said, like these, like knowing that you've made an impact, not just on people of determination and families, but like I said, the junior coaches coming in as well. And I'm really proud of all those junior coaches and the relationship and the work that they've put into the Heroes. It's amazing. It really is.
So much achieved in officially 5 years, but a bit longer, and so much more to come. The work you're doing is truly amazing.
Thank you so much.
And I think like the community is clearly just so thankful for it. So thank you for sharing this story.
That's great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. If anyone wants to get involved in Games of Hope, or they want to ask you any more questions, how can they do so?
I suppose Games of Hope, we definitely, I suppose Instagram's probably the easiest one. We do have a Games of Hope official email address as well. It's gamesofhopeuae@gmail.com. If you do have any questions, just pop that aside. But if not, just use the Instagram page for now and we'll get back to you on that. And the same then for anyone who wants to sign up as an athlete, you can jump on the website. It's www.heroesofhopeuae.com. And then there's different ways you can do Coach of Hope, Junior Coach, or Athlete. Choose. And then you can just tell us which one you want to be part of. So yeah, that's an easy sign up.
Amazing. Heroes of Hope. Thank you so much.
Guys, thank you for having me.
Not at all. Thank you for coming back. That brings us to the end of the Lovin Dubai show. We're back here with you every single weekday morning, same time, same place. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.